from the gear that I just had in my bank. And you can see it's not like I'm wearing garbage gear. Like I'm in a 6-piece autumn set and I have it all slotted up. Like all of my slots have gems in them. You know, I have some Fey Twisted stuff. I'm wearing a Crown of Snow. These goggles come from the Esoteric Initiate set. I could technically probably make a dragon ring or maybe try to find an artifact in Mithran or something, but we're not going to get any better than this dinosaur bone short sword as a caster stick for me, because this was the I min-maxed this for my druid. So like, I feel like the gear for a caster is pretty good. It's just, so where I could focus, I think something that I learned too, like when I made this character, I probably would lesser reincarnate this character and make it a little bit more like a Sork, blasting my wisdom to 18, give myself a 14 con, and then set all the other stats lower. Just make sure I start with an 18. I started with the 16 wisdom, so like right there I'd be at 68, and then if I could get a better bunch of filigrees and items, I could probably get my wisdom up to like 80 something ish, right? And then from there my DCs would definitely go up. That would be a really good start. Like if I were going to like try to min-max this character, I need to reincarnate myself lesser, like respec basically. So I need to do like a respec and redo my stats. I built it like like an old school monk, where you have to kind of put points all over the place because you need dex, you need con, you need wisdom, you need a little strength. But for what I figured out for the caster, I think you could just like min-max wisdom, blast wisdom. You probably should be an Azamar and get a 20 wisdom, and then or like a deep gnome or something like that. And then as long as you have 14 con, you could probably dump everything else, because you don't care. Dex is only for like doing things like, I don't need precision. I took precision. I don't need it. Like in heroics, I was using it in order to like generate ki, right? So I would just generate some ki and just energy burst everything. But now I kind of want to like min-max myself as a caster, so I want to focus on blasting as much caster stuff as I can. The other thing too is I'm not sure if this is like the best tree, Exalted Angel. This is just the one that I tried, but it could be that Magus of the Eclipse is the best, because it would give us like an AoE cold effect that's on us all the time, and then we could do time stop. We could do that the black hole. We could do a whole bunch of other like pretty cool DPS abilities. It may also be that like I drop down Exalted Angel, go into Grandmaster of Flowers for some of the defenses, and then I go tier 5 over here and grab like that epic moment, grab all this stuff that would help me to do more damage, and then I basically just focus on either like doing my Draconic energy burst and turtle up with like Grandmaster of Flowers to just stay really strong. I don't know, like I'm still in the trying to, you know, come up with what might be the best setup for it. I'm in water again because I want that keygen, that passive keygen. We could grab more passive keygen in Grandmaster Flowers, which is why I mentioned that. Like, I think that would be good, considering that it is a resource that we need in order to cast, like, part of our DPS. It would have benefits for us to be there. Exalted Angel is working out for us. I think that if I were to, like, say, okay, this is definitely the tree for me, I would try to grab the Ascendance, the epic moment, because that would help out. So we would need this and these. meaning that we probably, you know, it's going to be like a philosophy difference. Like, I don't think that's the way to go for this, though. I actually think probably I could drop out of this. It's just nice to have the Holy Fireball, but I think we drop out of this and then we try like full on over here. That means that we'd be running, instead of doing angelic form, we would be doing the attuned to the arcane, basically. I think that would be the way to go. I don't know what you guys are doing. Hey, Tanya Janfeld, good to see you. Yeah, you guys, let me know what you've found out so far. Like, are you running in Attune the Arcane? That's kind of what I'm thinking is probably might be like the way to go, because once you go like tier 4 Attune the Arcane, it gives you access to that damage over time effect that you can throw out. So like that might be better than having, because this mantle is not bad. Angelic form is a good one, but the other one I was thinking, well, maybe I'll try wrathful form, because that would give me that like a warlock effect where since I'm energy bursting, I'm running into the middle of the mobs anyway, and with wrathful I wouldn't have to cast anything. It would just automatically proc the damage on stuff. And then as a result of that, I wouldn't have to necessarily worry about my spell DCs. So, you know what? Matter of fact, I'm going to go AFK and grab some tea, but let's do that before I do that so we can test this out, because I think you guys probably appreciate this as much as I do, right? Like testing this stuff out. It's important to figure out what might work better. So wrathful, this one gives us the AoE. It's like a warlock. So fire, light, alignment, positive spells. We are going to, anytime we cast something like that, we will get surrounded by an aura that will tick damage for us. Now it may completely suck. We'll try it. And I want, so I've already got Conjuration. I want Evoke then. That's the other thing about this that's difficult, is that half the spells are Conjuration and half are Evocation. It's not like you can just focus on one. You have to actually have like two if you want to get your DCs up. You know what? I'm gonna skip Holy Fireball for now. We need that. I've got 2 points left. Oh, actually, you know what? I could get Ascendancy there, but I need actually 5 points to do that. So actually, I'm going to actually take this then. Yeah, I just don't have the points. But we're gonna experiment with Wrathful. So... oh, the other thing too about how I built this character out, I decided to take like Spring Attack, which I could completely get rid of that. Like, I just need to basically make it like I would make a sorcerer, basically. So I kind of made it like a hybrid, and I just think like the caster part would be way better served by me actually acting like a caster and not taking stuff that pulls away from that. So I already have Flight of Kings. I don't need Spring Attack. It's nice to have both, especially though now with Angelic Charge. I just have way too many movement options now. I don't need that many. Things are going to waste, you know? So like this is what I mean. I need to sort of respec And if you guys have seen any of my videos in the last couple of, the last few weeks, I went over, like part of the free-to-play process and how respecking is like super expensive. And it's the same for me as a VIP. Like, even though I'm a VIP, I can't just respec for free. I have to get a lesser heart of wood in order to do what I want to do. And a lesser heart of wood's like $8. So $8 to just experiment with a build. Like, I probably will do it because I'm a content creator, but it's from a regular player perspective. That's super lame, right? So, let's get our, all right, so here's Wrathful now. And just so we can sort of, because like I said, I want to go AFK and grab a drink, but we will, just so we can kind of see the proof of concept of the idea for Wrathful versus the other one. So the other one keyed our Epic Strike, the mantle damage off of like our spell cast. So when I did Energy Burst, it had a chance to proc my mantle, and that would give me the extra mantle damage. Now, whenever I do a cast, I should get the Wrathful should just go around me, which is exactly what just happened. And so now when I like run up to something, I should just kill these. Yeah, so I don't have to do anything. The stuff is just gonna die. It makes it like a warlock. So I mean, and it lasts for quite a while. So especially since I'm like, I'm pretty sure it keys off of everything. So here's my energy burst. It does, for some reason, it does not key off of my energy burst. I didn't know that. I honestly didn't know that, but it will key off of my color spray. So if I want to do that, I'm not sure why it didn't key. It may be that you actually have to hit a monster in order for it to trigger. We'll try it again. I'll color spray this dude and see if it procs it. Yeah, all right. So you actually have to hit something. That was this Draconic Burst from Monk. That's that again. And you see it's like 800 damage. That was like 1700 damage. And so now now it's standing in my aura. I still like the Holy Fireball better than any of the monk stuff. It's keyed to, it cost me 40 mana. These cost me key. I have to generate key. Like, it's just, it's clunky. It's clunky. So that one hit for 2,000. And that Dragon Breath hit for 5,000. That was pretty good. My saving throws are in the mid-70s. 1,700. I mean, so you guys probably know, like, when I do an energy burst, I don't want to see 1,000 damage, right? Like, I want to see, like, 30,000 damage. I still have that buff on me. Let's see what my Draconic Incarnation does to these. That was good. 7,000, 8,000, like, that's good. If my key did that, so let's do the key one. Let's see if how hard I can hit these dudes. So 1,700 and 1,800. So it just is a lot less, right? Like, it's a lot less than the Draconic one. So it's like not, if being a dragon monk gave us access to have 2 of these, that would be super cool, but it's not. And the Dragon Breath is different too. This Dragon Breath, we'll do it on these dudes right here. You know, 1,200 on one, 2,500 on another. It's not bad, but it's not like the epic one. So in heroics, they obliterate everything. It's super cool in heroic, but once you get into legendary, it falls off. And like I said, now I'm at cap at level 32. I mean, this is double damage, and that Hellhound isn't dead, and he got CC'd. So it's like, I guess what I'm saying is, well, we see how fast with the short sword, if I can find a mob. Like, and this weapon isn't made to do DPS, but you can see like how fast I'm killing stuff swinging a weapon. Like, what benefit am I getting from spellcasting aside from the fact that I can spellcast, right? Like, it's kind of like so we'll do my holy fireball, do the draconic. There's dragon breath I missed completely. But, you know, like at the end of the day, like me swinging my sword just feels better. Here's a fireball. So the wrathful is okay. I wouldn't say it's like super... It doesn't feel like it's super overpowered, but what I like about it is the fact that I don't really care. Once I trigger it, I don't really care about the spell DCs, because it's going to just do that. See, that damage is just ticking, right? So as long as I can keep it up. And then the Draconic burst is just way better. Here's the key burst. But that's not bad, right? 1900, 1900. He's immune. Yeah, he's immune to that, so we will hit him with fireball. Using wrathful on an actual warlock is like god tier, because it just gives you more aura damage on your, if you're an enlightened spirit. So like, I highly recommend that. I would be in wrathful on my warlock main minion, my minion enchanter build, if I weren't doing minions. So like, if I switched to just be enchanter and drop minions altogether, I would probably switch to wrathful, just because it adds so much extra damage. But it probably isn't like, you know, isn't the best for this. It's not bad. I think it's a little bit better than like Exalted Angel was without it. Right? I think it's a little bit better, but I'm thinking that we're probably going to try dropping Exalted Angel altogether and then just focus on Draconic. I think that might be the way to go. It's cool that it works on, yeah, on color spray. That's really cool. Alright, so, said I'm going to go AFK, so I think what we're gonna do is respec again and try full-on Draconic next time. But I'll be back. I'm gonna take 5, stretch, get some tea. And I'll leave this open if you guys want to take a look at this is the caster monk build that I came up with, but like I said, it's not perfect yet by any means. My spellcaster DCs are just way too low. So, something to keep in mind though, this character is, like I said before, no past lives. Nothing. I only have 13 Reaper points. So, like, this is a first life tune that doesn't even have 20 Reaper points. So, if you were doing monk lives on a triple completionist character just to grab the archetype, your experience is probably going to be out of the box a lot better than mine, just because you'll have all those past lives powers and everything that will bolster you. So, but it's a good indicator for somebody who's like new to the game or returning and doesn't have a character with a lot of past lives. I think we can make it work. It's just like the first few things I've tried haven't been super strong. So, but I'll be back. All right, I'm back. War Tusks, good to see you. Hopefully you guys are having a good night. So I originally got on to do the 64-bit server transfer for that's going on in Lotro. But I didn't realize that they aren't actually turning the servers on, so I couldn't actually log in and play. You can do a transfer, but it doesn't activate until tomorrow or the next day. So whenever that actually is something I can do, I'm going to actually do that live. So we'll move my main from one server to one of the 64-bit servers. And the reason why I want to do it live is because it probably will be a really similar process to what we do in DDO. So I want to document where it's easy and where it's not and what headaches there are. They may knock it out of the park and it's just super smooth, or you know, they may hit like some unforeseen snags, so we'll see. Yeah, the dragon monk is definitely cool. I'm not quite sure where it's gonna fit in the meta. I think it's something that I noticed though is that the redo of Shinto is really cool. Like the way that they have the light and dark working, triggering in the tree here, not behind the scenes with the builder spender. Makes me feel like we might see people actually playing Raps monks again. That's sort of exciting because Raps are pretty fun. It could be that the meta though for monk is still quarterstaff, all things being equal, but it's nice to see that they put this stuff into Shinto, like right here. So you have access to like a really solid heal. You have access to really solid CC. Most of this stuff is pretty decent. So I'm thinking like maybe I want to try to see if hand wraps work. And that would be like a regular monk, but you could also make like just a melee dragon disciple monk and not do any of the spell casting, but utilize what I'm doing on my thrower, like take advantage of the imbue. So do like go tier 5 Shinto, and then I probably do like 31 points here to get the imbue die here. There's probably some other stuff over here that you could benefit from, but if you didn't want to, you could just drop this all together and just put like 2 points in there to grab the imbue die, toggle, and then you could go like I was saying, if you didn't want to do wraps, if you wanted to do like 2 daggers, you could do Vistani in Shinto or something like that. So I have a feeling that people will come up with some really interesting builds based around like that sort of stuff, because it feels really good. And I was messing around on a low level character with these, and some of these abilities, like they changed the way that they proc, they work, so that they just like, it's a lot easier now. You don't need to do all the builders to spend like it, and you don't have the finishing move. Like I'm sure there are people upset about that system being changed because it was kind of cool, but this stuff looks really good just right here. Yeah, and then you get Rise of the Phoenix. Like I have a feeling this is gonna be pretty strong. I wouldn't be surprised if they do another like traditional hardcore, if we saw a lot of Raps monks, you know? So we'll see. Yeah, you can heal a lot more often, right? Yeah, I haven't done hand wraps monk in a long, long time. I'm just gonna reset it all. That's the other thing that's dumb. Like, I'm gonna end up blowing through like a million plat respecking. Alright, so let's... the other thing I don't know about is if you could do like this monk caster with a rune arm. I'm sure somebody will experiment with that. I am not like a rune arm person. I don't really like it. But I'm sure somebody out there will. It's probably actually going to be the meta, right? Like, because rune arms are pretty OP in certain circumstances. What do we want? We want Draconic. I probably would do that, and then I'm surprised they didn't give us Dimension Door, to be honest with you. Like, I'm surprised tier 4, the level 4 doesn't have Dimension Door. I would love to do Shirati too. Like, Shirati would work really well, but it's just for spellcasters. It's not that good. Much better to use Draconic. All right, this one here, we're basically going to go. So we'll do Evoke. All right, and so should I do? Let's keep it with Energy Burst. Okay, I don't need spread your wings. I already have 9 fast moves. All right, so I'm already 36 points. I'm not using Ruin, but you certainly could use Ruin. Not using Wellspring, but you certainly could. You probably should use Wellspring. I just didn't. I do want this Breath Weapon DC, though. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. All right, so 39 points Draconic. All we care about in this one is renewal. Okay, and so now I still have 20 points I can put into another tree. I'm doing cold. There isn't going to be anything over here that's going to help me. Maybe somebody can make an argument like, okay, so I'm doing these dragon breaths, right? But you could technically do like Stormcatcher, right? Stormcatcher here, and then do Thunder Snow. Like, you certainly could do that. I think that would be good. Obviously, you wouldn't have to just go ice or electric. You could also do acid and do shard storm. The fire, reborn in fire is not very good. Neither is spring. Like, they have good heals, but they're not good DPS. They nerfed carrion swarm, so really like Stormcatcher is probably the best one, but it's a single target. I think it's better for us to just use the dragon breath since we're in Draconic, right? But you could do something like that. Macrotech has an epic strike. The hammer. And then the sonic boom. You think we should try the sonic boom? Actually, you know what? No, we'll use this as our epic strike. So we don't need anything else there. So what I wanted to do here then is grab this keygen from here. Really all I care about. We'll take this too. That restores health. That restores key. So we'll take another. That's a keygen. So we've got 2 keygens. We'll do that. Take deflect. And we're in water, so let's boost water. Okay, that's fine. Might as well take that and then that. We have 1 more point to spend. Yeah, there really isn't anything else that I forgot. I mean, if I had Ruin, I could do this one here. So 40 points in Draconic. That's fine. Even though we're not technically, that was a wasted point. We're not gonna stay in this. We're just trying it out to see like if it feels any better damage wise. So here's the epic strike now, right? And I'm gonna get rid of the other stuff. Alright, there's our dragon form. That is our epic moment. It's good because we can turn stuff to gold. So we get rid of that. Alright, I don't need any of that stuff. I do have this. So I'm doing ice, ice, ice. You know what? Let's switch one of these for something just in case it's immune to ice. So Acolyte. Alright, we'll do this. So acid breath. And then that's Draconic Burst. Alright. There's the devastation. And now we have a lesser. Let's do lesser acid here. Okay, and I've got my imbue is ice. I'm in water. I've got my mantle on. All right, that was when we were messing around with electric. I don't need that anymore. All right, so looks pretty good. My hit points are higher now. That's cool. And we'll try to get a sense of where... Hey, float on by. Good to see you. Yeah, what's crack-a-lackin', man? The hammer, yeah, I could have done that hammer, that sonic hammer in Macrotech. Yeah, it's not a strike, but my remembrance of it is that it's got like a 15-second cooldown. I might be mistaken on that. I was underwhelmed with the cooldown on that. I didn't feel like it was long and like quick enough for me to feel like it was that good, but I might be wrong. Maybe it is really good. All right, here's the key energy burst. Oh, that's pretty good. So we're gonna try to take a look and see if I'm putting my Draconic dot on these things. But right away, the damage looks better in this mantle. Right? It was doing like 19, now it's doing... Now it's... I could have procced like a crit. So that looked more like it did before, 1600. But, I mean, all in all, I still feel like the damage is low. Here's the epic strike. Oh, actually, sorry, I hit the wrong button. That's it right there. My Dragon Breath. Yeah, 1600. I still feel like it's kind of low, so we're back to like kind of what I was saying before. Although my key gen now in this build is at +2. So that's definitely better. Especially if we're, you know, bouncing from group to group to group, trying to do as much as we can. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really... Like, that feels really good. I'm just not sold on the key ones. And now I'm stuck with that mana gen. Like, okay, here, I mean, my key gen there. Now I'm out of key completely. So in order for me to, like, generate it now, I have to start swinging my weapon. And once I start swinging my sword, I generate it super, super fast. That's like the only sort of ridiculous part of it. Like, it kind of would be nice if there was one of the spells generated key for you. I definitely think, though, after experimenting with a bunch of different trees, that Draconic is definitely a tree you want to be in, if not partly all the way. Like, there's just some things in Draconic that make the Dragon Breath and the Burst feel a lot better. Obviously, that is probably not a surprise to anybody, right? Like, having that Daunting Roar is like super huge. I don't necessarily think you need to be in the mantle, though, but having access to this epic strike is really good. Forcing the mobs to take part of your damage is really good. Having this breath weapon DC is good. Having these cores are really good. I think that you could probably get away with, like, being in another... So I'm thinking maybe Primal Avatar, you could mess around with that spring snow or whatever it is there, that epic strike, if you want to just kind of mix it up. I guess it's all going to depend on how you like to play. But the thing that I don't like about it is the fact that it's so hard for me to get, like, good saving throws. Like, my Epic Strike saving throw is 86, but my Monk is 76, so I'm, like, missing 10 points. So it would be nice, I've said this a couple of times, but it would be nice if the Monk tree had the ability to grab, like, they give you DCs here, but I kind of think that there should be a couple of DCs like here and here as well, just to give you a little bit more, because DCs are so important for a caster, right? So the other thing to keep in mind too is, like, I built this character all wrong. Like, I made this character like a hybrid fighter magic user. So, like, I have spring attack, I'm ready to do, like, melee damage, and then, yeah, because that's kind of what I thought how it was going to play, and I'm sure people are playing it like that. You basically run in, you swing your sword, you generate a bunch of ki, and then you do your energy burst or your dragon breath. But I think that I lost a lot of caster power by doing that. So I think if I made it a little bit more like a Sork, or like a caster druid, and just min-maxed myself, I think my spell cast would be stronger. So, but it's just gonna take some experimenting. I said it before too, like, I think if you play normal, hard, elite, or R1, this will be fine for you to play. Like, I think it's only when you start doing, like, mid to high Skull Reaper that it starts to feel bad. And I wouldn't say it feels bad. It's just, like, I'm not playing it. You know that you guys play Dragon Lord. Like, the first time I played Dragon Lord, I was like, oh my god, this is busted. It was just so strong. It's still, like, the strongest. It's basically the meta. Like, Dragon Lord is just so strong. So, I don't feel like that with this at all. This feels a little bit more down to earth. It definitely, though, is a great, it's like a W for Monk, because Monk is really cool. It's always been one of my favorite classes in DDO. I played a hand wrap Monk for a long time when they first came out. Used to raid on one. Like, it was just a lot of fun. So, W Monk, because we get to, like, revisit and play, you know, the fact that they got rid of the builder spender system. Yeah, it's nostalgically, it's a little bit depressing, but it's, you know, from my perspective, it's good for the game that they got people interested in playing Monk again. So I'm just gonna basically try to do this as best I can with the build that I have right now. And, you know, my saving throws are just so bad. This is exactly what I ran into before, where my time to kill is just too high. Like, this dude has saved versus everything I've thrown at him. With the exception of the color spray. Like, the good thing about the color spray is that it generally hits a lot of things because it's a will save. My attacks are triggering these reflex saves, and a lot of mobs have really high reflex saves, so. But I love the CC that's built into Draconic. Yeah, and so we're back at the same thing. So in order for me to make this work, not only is it coming up with like a build, I definitely think Draconic is good. It's also coming up with like the gear. Like I have to min-max my filigrees in order to like get my spellcaster evoke and conjuration DCs up. So like I would definitely need to take evoke 1 and 2 and then epic evoke, and then once I get legendary I would need to take that one that gives me access to get like the second, so I could take conjuration +3. So I'd have evoke +3, conjuration +3 in legendary. Whether or not Scion of the Plane of Fire is the best one for this, it gives me 4 evoke, 2 everything else, PRR, MRR, and then Imbue Die and Fire. But like you could probably come up with like a better, maybe Fire isn't the way to go. Maybe Ice would be better or something. If they gave us access to light, like the Sacred Fist, I think that this would be like super OP, because then you could go into, you could take that the one that buffs light damage. It gives you a bunch of hit points, and light can't be resisted like the ice and all the other elemental stuff can be. Oh, I cast the wrong spell. That Sork is probably gonna kill me, like if I don't kill him. I'm like literally going to try to just hit him with my short sword until he dies, because yeah, I don't even think he killed me, but I knew he was going to be one of the characters that killed me. Yeah, I don't have a combat log on this character set up for some reason. But I just got hit for a lot of damage. So this character is not as survivable as the other one, but I still have 38 dodge. Right? It's just my PRR is garbage. Yeah, so basically what I've learned, I would min-max the wisdom. I would min-max myself and make myself a little bit more like a sorcerer, basically. Get my DCs up. Get them all near 100. If I could get this at 100, that means this would be 110, and then I would hit everything. So. Now, this is a first life character, so it means like I could probably just make another one, but I think at some point in the past I used a tome on this character. I could have swore this character used to be a paladin. Yeah, like I don't need improved martial arts. Intensify and embolden are good. Oh, I don't need like perfect weapon fighting. You know, I don't need legendary aim. There's still a elusive target. Like, there's a lot of stuff as a hybrid I could get rid of and just focus on as a cat and being 100% of a caster. Now, whether or not that plays well, I don't know. Maybe it is the hybrid's the way to go, but I think that from my perspective, if you're going to do that, what I think I would do is make myself into mostly a melee monk, and then do what I was doing in Exalted Angel, where I throw the Holy Fireball, because the damage on that Holy Fireball is really good. So, like, I don't even think I'd worry about the key spells. I think I would just take, like, Fireball and Light Pillar and just run around and whack stuff, and then just throw those spells out, and then I wouldn't even worry about my key. Then I don't need to worry about the key generation at all. All my buffs are triggered on spell points, so I don't really care. The pillar hits really hard, you know, and you can buff it so it knocks stuff down. The other thing that we could try since we're here, so let's do that. Let's spend some more. Oh yeah, my opinion, Float. Yeah, I think that Dragon Disciple is. I think if you're just gonna go through heroics to grab the past life, it's super fun. In heroic, the energy burst and dragon breath obliterate everything because you know the saves, everything. But what happens is the monster reflex save, fortitude save, like everything outstrips the. Because keep in mind, like while I'm not in like min-maxed the best gear, I'm in a 6-piece autumn set. All of my slots are filled with gems. Some of them have Reaper power buffs, right? Like, yes, this pearl ring is not min. I could get a dinosaur ring. I could min-max it. I could synergize it with this short sword. I could redo all the filigrees to focus on like evoke and conjuration DCs, wisdom. Like I could really try to blast and get my DCs up. But for right now, just out of the box, everything is so low that I'm just not able to dish out the damage reliably with the spellcast. So it just makes the time to kill. And again, this is not for like elite or R1. This is if you're pushing like mid Skull Reaper or higher. It really falls off at like R4 or higher. Like my ability to DPS anything just goes like out the window. So I mean, it's fun to tool around in like normal story mode content, but if you were like trying to push, it's just not. It was just not good, not very good. So we're gonna try doing prism with light, and we're gonna upgrade everything we can. Here we're going to do evoke because that's my energy burst, right? I can't do evoke here. I could do illusion for my color spray or conjuration for my dragon breath. So let's do conjuration for the dragon breath. Less threat is good. Upgrade, yes. This here, imbue die, sure, we'll take that. That's good. That's good. Okay, give me my DCs. Don't need that. Spell power. It's okay. This epic moment is garbage. I'll take it though. How many points do I have? I still have points. Alright, I'll take that. It's okay. Like, it's okay. Alright, so I've got some extra points. So, you know what I'm gonna do with those extra points then? We are going to grab that. That'll make our hit points go up a little bit. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I have almost 2,000 hit points now. So, we've got a new epic strike, right? And we've got a new epic moment. We've got a new stance. So there we go. Alright, that looks great. Okay, everything looks good. Everything looks good. Alright, let's go. I mean, I like really want to find out like where the yeah, I agree with you completely. Float doesn't do anything better than the regular monk. I'm really happy that they did it because like I have wanted them to take a look at monk and fix some of the stuff with it because you know it's such a fun class, but I'm not sure being a caster monk, but it is nice that they fixed the way that like Shinto works. Like those abilities are really easy to use now. whether you go light or dark. I think it's really cool. Like light gives you light damage, dark gives you poison damage. Like that's very easy to understand. You don't have to worry about like finishers or any of that behind the scenes stuff. So technically, this is a CC, right? And I already hit the same issue that I've already been having, right? That they are saving versus everything. So let's see if I can at least maybe color spray some of these things. Okay. Yeah, this is not going that well. Yeah, it's not. It's too hard. It's too hard to dish out the damage. That dot that's ticking is because I have like Shadow Fang that deals that untyped curse, but if it weren't for that, it's just they have almost 15,000 hit points. So if I'm only hitting them for 1,000 a hit, I mean that's a lot of hits to kill them. And then the Phalites with an 80 will save, it wasn't enough to get them, which is weird because my color spray's will save is only 77. You'd think that would instantly, the will save for Phalites would instantly get them, but if you look at that, it's 80 on a will save, a fortitude save, and a reflex save. Well, they're making the fortitude and the reflex saves. For whatever Phalites does for the will save, it's not that strong. So I don't understand, like, this is why I keep saying I think Shirati needs to be redone, because like Phalites needs to be made, like that needs to just be a will save. I think they need to drop the fortitude and reflex and just make it like color spray. Then it would actually be useful, I think. Because right now, like, I couldn't hit anything with it. No, I'm not set on staying cold at all. I was experimenting with a few things, but like I did cold primarily because I wanted to test it out and see. Like when I originally like was respeccing, I did acid. So like I have experimented with acid, but yeah, if you have a recommend, like fire at the end game, a lot of things are immune to it. So usually I go acid. Poison, not everything takes poison damage. Not everything takes electric damage at end game. So like really it's between acid or cold, right? If you have to do elemental damage. So like I was kind of doing both. And then the only reason why I took the Scion, the fire Scion, is just because like I think the auxiliary things are a little bit better, like the PRR and MRR. Also because I'm like, I wasn't sure exactly which, like I took acid, so I'm like, well, maybe I should take Scion of Earth, but it wasn't like, I didn't feel like that sold on it at that point. Like technically, I just want to make it like a fire stork, right? So I would just do fire down the line, but I have no way to force things to take fire damage. Short of me doing like the Holy Fireball where they're taking part light damage, or in Draconic where I take that ability that forces them to take a little bit of the damage. And so like while I want to love Shirati, it's just as for a caster, I just don't think Shirati has enough love in it right now for casters. Like it's not terrible, but I wouldn't say that it's like the go-to for a caster at all in any way. I think it's... I do, yeah, I have the builder. Yeah, I'm actually, so if you use the builder, you must have seen like that new spot that he put in the builder to test your DPS. Like I can't wait for him to activate that. Because that, supposedly that will allow us to like put together a build and then run that DPS check and see like the difference, which we really can't do now. Like I have to, basically what I'm doing with you guys now is testing out like how my DPS looks in real time I'm hitting a lot of, like, my DCs are too low, so I'm not even getting to DPS them. So I think the builder would be nice to be able to, like, run that DPS checker to see just, like, what the raw numbers look like. If I have a hunch that something might, like, be additive or multiplicative with something, to find a synergy, kind of like what people do in PoE or PoE2, where they figure out these people do it in Diablo 4 too. They figure out like these things that boost the damage up a lot. That sort of is like a weird unintended effect of a build. I'm sure we'll be able to figure that kind of stuff out here. I definitely think though, like, the fact that I have to manage the key, it's just super off-putting. Like, I kind of want to drop all of it. Just run around hitting stuff. And just use, like, my Epic Strike. And that kind of takes away from... I guess people on spellcasters do that too, right? Like Sorks. Like, a lot of Sorks just spam Epic Strikes. I mean, some of them are, like, will throw, like, Delayed Blast Fireball, but... a lot of people are running around just doing like Energy Burst or Dragon Breath or Light Pillar or whatever. So, I mean, I guess it's gonna play like anything else. The other one I was thinking that might be worth trying out, at least while I'm still in ice, is the Magus. Oh, actually, this is legendary. Yeah, so let's do cold. Okay, that's fine. Here we'll do evoke. Okay. Okay. I'm not doing summons. I don't really need spell pen. We'll do cold again. I don't have arcane pulse. Don't really care about that. When you hit... okay, that's fine. Lunar Imbuement, that's if I'm using the Epic Strike from here. We might as well try it. So let's do the... I don't really like this Epic Strike, but we might as well do it. So... Moonlance is cold. Let's do that. Okay. I've got that. And then we will do... Zero Comet. Yeah, we'll try that. Time Stop is good. Now let's grab these. Alright, so I still have a point left over. I might as well just throw it there. Alright, so this gives me a whole bunch of good stuff. So there's Time Stop. Okay, that's our mantle. That's cool. So now we do this aura. Alright, and I'm going to move these all temporarily off. It will move this back here, and then... So the Epic Strike is Moonlance, right? Cold Light of the Moon, that's that thing I throw on the ground. And then 0 Degree Comet, that's the one, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna put that one here. It's fine. So we'll see if this made us any better. All right, 0-degree comet saving throw is 82. That's the thing I throw on the ground. My epic strike is 82. And this 77, 77, it doesn't look like the saves got that much better. They might be a little bit better. Okay, here we go. Dude. Alright, where's my color spray? There it is. Alright, give me this epic strike. Yeah, it's tough with this single targets epic strike. Okay, there. Damn it. Oh, that hit really well. That was that, the tier 5. Okay, I cheated. I swung the sword. Alright, so let's color spray. So that's the epic strike. It was alright. It was like 10,000. Here's my energy burst. He saved. Here's the dragon breath. He saved. Let's do the epic strike on him. I mean, see, this is what I don't understand. Like, this epic strike is only a little bit better with an 82, but it's a will save, right? Versus a reflex save. And that's what I'm saying. That's huge, dude. Nothing has a will save, really, like a good will save, but everything has good fortitude and reflex saves, so it's just like if they had made these key bursts will saves, which they could thematically, technically, like, yes, it's an elemental burst of damage that you can jump out of the way of, so it's a reflex save, but you could make an argument that the monk is using ki and not an elemental burst of real it's like a psychic element. You know, I mean, we put it into an anime universe, right, or something like that. Like, you could come up with a reason why you could make that into a will save, so. Ah, oh, dude. All in all, though, this doesn't look that bad. This plays fun, and it feels pretty decent. Like, it felt as good as Draconic. Matter of fact, it was a little bit more interesting because I was seeing pretty decent damage there, throwing out the moon lances, throwing out that cold light of the moon. When I actually hit something with the 0-degree comet, it did a ton of damage to it, so that was really cool. I think I could also boost my color spray in here. So, like, this tree felt pretty decent. Like, it didn't feel that bad. I also like this sort of, that aura, that negative cold energy aura that's around me. It's a little bit different than the wrathful form that I had to proc, because this one's just always on. So aside from, like, the low healing, see, that's the problem. Like, if I were in Primal Avatar, I could have Cocoon on myself, I could have Renewal on myself, kind of like what I do on my Warlock. I constantly keep myself with HOTS running. So something like what just happened doesn't happen. Like, I don't get, you know, one-shotted, but, I mean, it still happens, right? So that's not bad. I kind of think Magus was so far, it felt like it's one of the better that I've tried. So I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe that might be the way to go. The other thing, too, is that you could easily do the hybrid if we drop caring about our actual SLAs, that might be something too, and that's not much different than a Sork. Like most Sorks, not counting Chaos Mancer, don't use their SLAs out of heroics. Most Sork SLAs suck in out of heroics. So it might just be that like this whole, once we're in legendary, we could just not be in this entire side of the tree. And the way that they made it so cheap to be in here, I don't even think we could. This is one of those interesting things. It's so cheap to buy stuff in this tree. I have almost everything and I've only spent 41 points. There's some trees, like if you try to spec yourself into, like a good example is Sun Elf. If you go into Sun Elf and try to, it's so expensive. You end up spending like 100 points just to get up an entire tree. So the fact that you can do most of this tree for 41 points is it's super cool. Yeah, I think that it may be that you could alter this and you wouldn't need to run tier 5. You could do tier 5 something else. Like you could do tier 5 Fade Arc and grab this Ring of Shadow Blades. And then, so now you've got displacement, permanent displacement, Ring of Shadow Blades. You could do the Shadow Fan, right? And you've got all of your Moonlance, Zero Comet, and Light of the Moon. And you don't even put these on your bar. And so then you don't have to worry about key. And then that lets us leave Grandmaster of Flowers and go somewhere else. Likely, we could do what I just said, and we go to Primal Avatar and grab Cocoon, so we have 2 hots. Or you can go into Draconic and grab the, grab some ice boosts out of there since we're ice. I mean, you could do whatever element you want, but just as an example, like ice boost from Draconic would also make this aura that I have hit harder if I got, like, let's do it right now so I can show you what I mean. So if I go into Draconic, ice. Okay, so what I'm thinking about is this one right here, the Coalesced. So this will that will force mobs that are immune to take some of my damage. They don't take all of it, and then we could grab that Daunting Roar, and we can also get Conjuration here too. Like that would help us for that. So that looks really good, and now we don't have to worry about anything like that. So there, good. Glassjaw, good to see you. Draconic has the breath DCs. Yeah, absolutely. Well, so the thinking is like, this is only in Legendary, by the way, just based on what I've tested. In a non-min-max, like if you don't have like the super supreme gear and you're not on a triple completionist, like I'm just really like all of these bullshit SLAs are coming off the bar, man. Like I'm just not feeling it in Legendary. This is just my opinion, right? Like I just don't think, and like I was just saying, I don't think that's, if you play like a Fire Sork, for example, highly unlikely you're going to be using that tier 5 Fireball because the cooldown on it, so you're probably just going to be spamming Delayed Blast, Fireball, Meteor Swarm, and then whatever you got from your Epic Destiny. Like if you're in Draconic, you're spamming Dragon Breath or Energy Burst. If you went into Exalted, you're spamming the Holy Fireball. Like you're not even taking the SLAs in Sork. Any of the Sork, because all of the SLAs suck in Sork. Except for Chaos Mancer. The Chaos Mancer is different because they actually gave us some good SLAs that you can still use a cap, but I'm thinking like that's just what you do. Like just don't even worry about it. And now, so I've got this stuff here that I can cast I've got time stop. And what else do I need? There's my null magic aura. I think that's good. If I really wanted to, I could put one of these on the bar. But like, I don't want to have to watch my key, right? So that's like, as soon as I put one of these on my bar, now I'm doing that key management, which is not super easy to do. I mean, you certainly can, right? Like, keep in mind, like a lot of this stuff I'm saying is just from my perspective, just spitballing off the top of my head. I'm sure that you guys are going to come up with a lot. I am in water stance, yes, because I want the passive key gen from that, yes. So I've got a +1, but it's still slow. Grandmaster Water gives key gen, yeah, so that's what I'm in right now, specifically for that. Yeah. And I maxed my concentration. So I maxed my concentration. I'm in water stance. So my key gen is like, once I'm in a quest, it's about, it does like 1 or whatever. So I mean, I think we could slot 1 if we really wanted to. Probably the devastation one, right? Since that's like the yeah, probably that one. But the issue we keep hitting is that saving throw is a reflex save. And unless I can get that number to 110, which I'm not even close, that means I need like 37 points on my DCs. And even if I min-max my filigrees, like, because it's not like I'm in crap gear. I'm in like a 6-piece autumn set. I've got all the gems. I've got a dragon weapon. Like, yeah, my artifact is not min-maxed. My filigrees are not min-maxed. So there is room, but is it 37 points worth of room? I don't think so. I don't think I have that much. Like, I just think it's, with it being a reflex save, it's not like color spray. Color spray is a will save. It doesn't matter that the save is 70. Things that are, you know, the way that they made the game now, you can finger stuff with an 80. You know, you don't, obviously you want your DCs as high as you can get them, but you still can play finger death with just an 80 on your DC, and you can still finger stuff. But what I'm noticing is with only a 73, it goes up to what, 77 in Reaper. It's just I'm not hitting enough. It's just the reflex saves on the Sharn stuff is just so high. And so what we could try, since Sharn is like tuned, like so over-tuned with the reflex saves, we could try doing something like Sharn, not Sharn, pardon me, Feywild, but the problem is, like, the Blights, don't they also have super high reflex saves? Like, I think that they do. So it's basically just another sort of a test to ballpark, like, where we are. So this is a mix of Magus, Draconic. Oh, I didn't mean to summon him. Okay, so you can see my key gen right now is 0, but that will become 1 as I quest a little bit. So there was my Dragon Breath. I completely missed. I didn't hit anything. Do I have anything up? I do. Okay. Color spray. Here's your Dragon Breath. Oh, that wasn't bad. At least he died. There's the Epic Strike. There. I'll do the Comet. I mean, that was alright. It was alright. Wasn't the best ever, but... Here's the Dragon Breath. So the Draconic really helps that out a lot. Like that's super cool. So like I really think you kind of have to take like that Draconic if you're going to use those. Right, that daunting roar. So Draconic is super useful. I kind of feel like the Magus is a little bit better than it was just being in Draconic. Let's see if I can kill that Plague Reaper. Yes, great. So the epic strike for this isn't terrible. It's just not... It's like it's a single target, so unfortunately. Let's see if we can kill that champion. No, like, everything's saved. Yeah, I mean, and so the time to kill is just so high that it just becomes like... It's too dangerous, the risk of being exposed for that long. Like, our kill time's not quick enough. So, but I mean, this feels better than what I've been doing on other experiments. So, I definitely think, like, while ice might not be the best choice, this is certainly like a solid caster tree Magus, because it gives you access to like time stop, which is one of the best. Fully buffed up, this is not a terrible epic strike by any means. It actually hits really hard. This is nice. Cold light is good. It doesn't feel like a Dragon Lord though, you know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I'm just walking in and just obliterating everything. It feels like I'm like really struggling in order to sort of control the battlefield. I understand it's R4 and I'm on a first life tune, so like I can't really expect that. But I do kind of feel like this mantle is a little bit more interesting than this one. The only benefit that I notice from Draconic is that having access to this energy burst obviously is like really good. So, and this is a really good mantle too, that dragon form. So I think if you did a monk with Ruin and did full into Draconic and maybe splashed into Magus, like that might be like a super viable. Yeah, and then as far as this third tree, it's up to you. I've been doing survivability with renewal, but like it doesn't have to be. You could probably do Exalted Angel. I just don't think you need the extra move with Flight of Kings. You can see I did try Exalted Angel. I have it on the bar, but a lot of people who do like mid to high Skull Reaper will do Exalted Angel for the movement, just because it's like way better to be able to move around quick, and then allows you to keep up with everyone, right? Like in the group. So usually people will run with that, but not always. It's probably what I would do though, because then I could take the healing pillar. I would have the wings. I wouldn't have to worry about the 15 seconds on Flight of Kings. I would just get the 5 charges and go from there. I did like, so aside from I liked when I did the mix with Draconic and Exalted Angel, and I had the Fireball, the Holy Fireball, and the Dragon Breath Energy Burst. I thought that was really strong. Like, that was good too. So, and then that would be like keyed up for like fire, I guess you could say. So that lets you do some light damage. So. So I originally got on early today because I play over in Lord of the Rings Online, which is SSG's other game. They are turning on and allowing people to transfer to 64-bit servers like they're going to do over here in DDO. So my plan is to make a video of the process of what I had to do for my Lotro transfers. I haven't done it yet. Once they open the server and I can transfer, I'll do it in real time. And then I'll post it. Even though it's not about DDO, it's still, SSG is probably going to give us the same sort of a process when they do DDO. So I want to sort of ballpark where any of the snags come up. I did the name reservation process that they had, which it wasn't super painful, but anybody who's done hardcore, it was sort of similar to that in the sense that, like, they say, okay, at noon, we're going to turn the servers on, and then everybody's trying to log in at the same time. So, like, it was virtually impossible for me to log in once they turned the server on. I eventually got in. I eventually did the name thing, but it was sort of a pain. Definitely not like an enjoyable process. It would be way better if they could just like just make a copy of Sarlona on 64-bit server and call it Sarlona 64, and then I log in and everything is already there. I've said this a few times. It probably is stupid for me to keep saying it because I don't really understand the process of what they're doing, but I can tell you, like, my characters in Lotro are similar to DDO, where I was a beta tester and, like, I made the characters during beta, and then when the server went live, I, like, made my character on the server as soon as it opened. So there's a bit of nostalgia. Like, even though I want to move to the 64-bit server, it sucks that I have to sort of shut everything off and dismantle it and then move. I kind of wish they could just copy it and turn it on and let me just play. So, like, it'll be sad when I have to copy Mary off of Sarlona and move her to Cormyr. I'm going to do that. It's going to be sad when I have to do that in Lotro. I'm on Brandywine. I'm going to move to, I think it's Glamdring or whatever the new 64-bit server is. But I'll probably be online doing that tomorrow. You guys probably won't care about the Lotro aspect of it, but from the technical perspective, if I run into any sort of weird issues, hopefully they get it all sorted out by the time they bring it over and let us do it here in DDO. We'll see, right? It's stressful though. Like in Lotro, I have to like sell my houses and unpin everything. Everything's gonna go into like the crafting, the storage, and it's just like a huge pain to do, you know. And we also have in Lotro, we have stables, we have like pet menageries, we have like monster manual deeds. They're a little bit different, but DDO doesn't have player housing, so we really don't need to worry about that. But I keep saying that they should give us housing. The housing in Lotro is cool. It's not the best housing system I've ever used, but it's still cool. Like it's nice. I have a guild house. I have a personal house. Like, so I would love to have that in DDO. I think it'd be great. My worry about DDO is like, how are they gonna move my astral shards? How are they gonna move my monster manual? Like, hopefully they're working on those sorts of questions. Because I don't think, like, while I probably would move my main to Cormyr simply because like that's where the guild home is and that's where I'm playing the most. So obviously it would make sense to have my main there. But just from like I probably would leave everybody else on my account on Sarlona just because like I have so much old stuff on Sarlona. You know, the account has a lot of weird things that we can't get in the game. Like I never got the Alabaster Lioness. Some of you guys have that, right? You guys were playing that summer when they gave it out. I never got that, but I do have a lot of other weird stuff that you can't really find anymore. So I wouldn't want to like lose that. The other thing too is from gold rolls, like winning things like the Nightmare mount. I have not won one yet on Cormyr, but I have on Sarlona, so I'm hoping that I can move the one that I used on Sarlona over to Cormyr, as opposed to it being, you know, asked to win another one, but we'll see. Anyway, so yeah, I think we did everything. So I'm going to be posting these videos to YouTube. So I have my monk thrower before the update, during the update, and then we went over it earlier today. And it's in a much better spot. I remade it as a Dragon Disciple monk, and it's stronger. The elemental imbues make it better. It's just better. As far as the regular monk, I also will be uploading like this regular monk gameplay. I have like heroic of this monk, which plays really well, and then I have this legendary, which I'll upload so people can take a look at like where I think like it falls off. I think it falls off really hard. I don't think it's very fun. Because it's just because from my personal, this is my opinion. It's just the key management aspect of it is just too difficult because there's not enough sources of key. Like there are, but it's, what if you didn't want to be in water stance? You know, like you're stuck in one stance. Like why don't they all generate key? It just doesn't make any sense. There's not enough. And then the only other epic destiny I can get key out of is Grandmaster of Flowers. Why is that? I feel like there should be key somewhere else. And maybe there is, I just don't know it. You know, maybe there's some in Fury of the Wild or something like that. So yeah, it's just too hard. And then the other thing too is like the saving throws, I think for Dragon Monk should be will save because it's a monk and monks are like, you know, spiritual. So like even though the attacks are elemental magic, it should, the key is like a spirit energy, right? Like I don't know, thematically I think they could make it work, but it's just keyed like a regular like energy bursts, and monsters have such high reflex saves in this game, it's just impossible to hit anything with it, so it just falls off really hard. It's not fun. The actual monk changes though, I think are a massive W for the game, like WDDO, and I think, like I've said this a couple times, I think that the changes that they made to like Shintao, where all of that stuff that was behind the scenes now is just built right into the tree. You get the heal, you get the CC, you get all this stuff. Like I'm actually thinking I'm gonna try like a hand wrap monk. That might be what I do Friday night. Friday night I might just make a level 1 and we just might do hand wraps and see how it plays, because I have a feeling it's going to be super cool. And that is definitely a really good change for the game, because hand wrap monks, while people do play them, obviously, they fell off a long time ago when they got like the nerf. So I think the meta for monk right now is quarterstaff, right? You guys could probably correct me, but I think that's where it is. Like I think that's what everybody who plays monk plays, quarterstaff. So it's nice just to see that there is an option that's, it probably isn't going to play as strong as the quarterstaff, but it's something that you could do that might be fun. And it may be something that is cool just to do for heroic. Who knows? Shinto may also fall off in epics. We just don't know. But I'll tell you, if you get quick cuts in epics, like it's probably not going to fall off until legendary. Like you probably would be able to go all the way up to level 30. And then, you know, you can either TR or sit there. You guys would probably have to let me know where it actually lands, because I'm assuming that it would be really cool, but we'll see. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep it short today. 3.5 hours, that's cool. I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow. Like I said, if you guys are interested in watching, it's not gonna be a DDO stream. However, Lotro and DDO are run by SSG. I'm moving to 64-bit servers. We will be doing that in DDO, so I'm going to upload it to my YouTube page anyway, and like go through the process with you guys, so we can see where there's any snags, and if it's, you know, if it's super cool and easy and as they say, or if we find any areas where it's not working.
Where are you going? Hunting for gold that is flowing somewhere in the cold world. Here there is no knowing. Hey la, oh la la la. We love games. There's a standing stone. Let's make camp. We love games. Let's make camp and play more games. Hey la, oh la la la. We love games. Where are you going? There's no knowing what magic awaits, what evil is growing. Hey la, oh la la la, we love games. Hunting on crypts is folly. Just play games and be jolly. Magical treasures hide in the dark, so rest and embark. We love, oh la la la, we love games. There's a standing stone, let's make camp. We love games.